Hey, what is happening, you guys? Hello. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Thanks for joining in. If you're watching a replay of this video, please do me a massive favor and stick hashtag replay into the comments. That helps me a lot. And if you're new, if you're watching one of my videos for the first time, please put new in the comments. So this way I know who's new. I can connect with you, say hi, and things like that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 14 reasons to start a home-based business. Okay, so some of you who follow me, you know that I am in home-based business. I absolutely love home-based businesses. I always share information about home-based business, how to get better at it, how to, achieve more results, make more money, etc. But today I just wanted to actually share 14 of my favorite reasons. Hey Margarita, thanks for joining in, superstar. 14 of my favorite reasons to join a home-based business, to start a home-based business, right? So number one reason, the first reason that is to eliminate debt. A lot of people get into home-based business because they want to get rid of the debt, right? Maybe they have some credit card debt, maybe they have some other debts, etc. And sometimes when you're just working in your job and you're spending most of the money that you earn to cover your bills, to do other things. Hey, Ruta, thanks for joining in. And to cover all the things, buying food, putting petrol in the car, taking care of the kids, etc. Sometimes it's just not enough money to go and put off, those fires, to pay off those debts, etc. So starting a home-based business can give you that extra income that can help you to extinguish some of those debts, pay off some of those credit cards, so you can feel free again, so you can start breathing again, etc. Instead of these letters coming in, and telling you that you owe this and that, etc. Hey Grajina, thanks for joining in. All right, so that's number one. The second reason that a lot of people get into home-based business is because they want to spend more time with their family. There's so many people that I talk to who say, I don't want the babysitter to raise my kids. I want to see my kids growing up. I want to spend time with them. I want to see them make their first steps and say their first words, etc. Right? There's too many people who they spend all this time at work and they don't even see how their kids grow up, and I used to be one of those people who used to work 12-hour shifts, spend an hour going to work, spend an hour coming back from work. So that's 14 hours a day that I would not see my kids, and I would see them only for a short time before they go to bed, etc. Right? Hey, Layla, thanks for joining in. Okay, so that's the second reason why a lot of people get into home-based business, because they want to have more time freedom so they can spend more time with the people that, are important to them, with their family, with their friends, etc. Right? The third reason why a lot of people get into home-based business is to build a retirement income. When I ask a lot of people, what is your plan for retirement? How are you planning to live once you're retired? A lot of people simply don't have an answer to that question. Because they haven't planned for retirement. The state pension is ridiculous. It's like £100 a week or something like that. And let me ask you a question. If you started living on £100 a week from now on, could you survive on that? Type in the comments, yes or no. Simple answer, right? Could you survive on £400 a month if you had to right now, right? To pay your bills, to pay your mortgage, to pay food, petrol, everything. Could you survive on that? Not many people survive, would survive on that. So if you wouldn't survive on that, what's your plan? Have you got a pension fund somewhere? Have you got some investments? How are you gonna retire? And many people don't. When I used to work in security and in school, I would see people in their 60s, in their 70s, and even sometimes in their 80s still working because they can't retire. They haven't got no money, right? They never put any money aside in order to retire, right? So a lot of people get into home-based business, again, to earn that extra income in order to put some of it away, to maybe start putting into some pension fund, maybe to start investing somewhere so that you can put away that money. So when the time comes, and whether you want to retire when you're 50, 55 or 60 or whatever, you have some money put away so you can afford to actually retire. Hope this makes sense. Hey, Mercy, thanks for joining in. Right. Next reason why a lot of people go into home-based business is to have longer or more holidays. Right. Again, there's so many people that I see who have normal jobs and they only get to go on holiday once a year, if that. Hey, Sonia, thanks for joining in. How is France? Right? So a a lot of people, they don't get to go on holidays because it's just so expensive. And if you have a big family, to go away, on a big holiday, it costs a lot of money, all the plane tickets, all the hotels and everything. So again, a lot of people start a home-based business to get that extra income to put away for that holiday, so they can go maybe twice a year on a holiday, maybe 3 times a year. And guess what? A lot of home-based businesses actually give you incentive programs to even qualify for free holidays. Me and my wife so far, I don't know, I've lost the count. I think we've qualified for about 14 or 15 so far. Within the last 8 years that we've been in home-based business, we've qualified for holidays to Cyprus, Mallorca, Indonesia, Dubai, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, cruise to Germany, Greece, America, Poland. So we've been to quite a few places thanks to the home-based business. So a lot of people get into home-based business because they want to get more holidays. Hey Barry, thanks for joining in. Right, so that's another reason why a lot of people get into home-based business, to get, hey, somebody's going to Maldives, so yeah, absolutely, so again, a lot of it is about experiences. We want more experiences, etc. We want to have our kids have more experiences, etc. The time to make those experiences are now, not when they grow up, etc. And then you go, oh my gosh, I wish I would have spent more time with my kids, etc. So again, having a home-based business for a lot of people allows to have more time off, to have more holidays, to be able to work less, so they can have more fun basically with them, by themselves and with their kids, etc. Okay. Reason number 5, a lot of people get into home-based business and start a home-based business, is to save up for a rainy day. Again, I don't know how many of you heard of a guy called Dave Ramsey, but he's a specialist in finances, etc. And he advises people to have an emergency fund. Because a lot of people very often, they get into credit card debt, etc., because they haven't got any money set aside for emergencies. So if a car breaks down, or a washing machine breaks down, or a boiler breaks down, they've got no way of financing it. Only way is either to use the credit cards, or even worse, the payday lenders, right? Who charge like 15,000% API, which is just insane. And then if you can't repay it, it just keeps building up. And that's how, a lot of problems start. So again, a lot of people get into home-based business to start earning that extra income so they can put away for a rainy day, for those emergencies. Because guess what? They're going to happen. You want it or not, these things will happen. The clutch will go in your car, or a boiler will break down in the middle of the winter and things like that. So if you have a couple of £1,000 stashed away, then it's helpful. When those things happen, you don't have to sweat, you don't have to panic, you don't have to get, all worried. You just go, yay, we have a fund for that. We have an envelope, with the money for that. Hey, Hamad, thanks for joining in, brother. Right. So again, that helps a lot of people, to put some of the money for the rainy day. Okay. Reason number 6, a lot of people get into home-based business is to either pay off their mortgage or to start investing into properties, into real estate. Again, a lot of you have been hearing that, property is a great investment, right? Because house prices always go up, etc. And everybody always going to need houses, etc. But again, if you have a normal job and most of your earnings go towards your bills and your mortgage and things like that, maybe you'd like to invest in property, maybe you'd like to invest in real estate, but you just don't have that spare income that you could use to put, into maybe buying a flat, or maybe buying another house and renting it out. And then one day, again, that could be your retirement plan. When you reach the age of 50, 60 or whatever, you can sell that second house, and that sort of takes care of you financially, right? So again, having a home-based business, having that spare income can help you to start investing that money. What if you had a home-based business and it generated for you £200 a month extra, £400 a month extra, £600 a month extra? Could you not use that money to start investing in a second mortgage, a second house, etc.? Absolutely. And that can, some years down, can provide you with some really, really great income and great security. Hey, Stacy, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so that's number 6. Reason number 7 why a lot of people get into home-based business is to become a stay-at-home parent. Because basically they just want to work from home. They want to be earning the income that they're earning right now in their job. Hey, Gerda, thanks for joining in. But they want to do that without leaving the house. So they can take their kids to school. They can pick their kids from school. They can do everything around their family and around their children. And there's very few jobs that allow you that flexibility, that allow you to work from home, take your kids to school, pick them up from school. If they're sick, just stay with them, etc. Right? But being in a home-based business, allows that. It accommodates that so that we can take our kids, to work even. I've had meetings where I would go with my girls. I have two girls. One is 7 years old, another is 10 years old, and sometimes if it's a weekend or whatever, and I have a meeting or something, I can grab them with me, etc. When I used to work in security or when I used to work in school, that wasn't an option. I couldn't bring my kids into school if they ill on that day or whatever, right? So it's a great flexibility, and it allows that freedom. Okay, reason number 8 is to get a car of your dreams. Again, maybe this applies more to guys, but I know some girls who have some mean cars too, right? And some of you have been dreaming about a certain car. Maybe it's a black BMW, right? For quite a few years, right? But again, it's just, when you're in a normal job, sometimes you just can't afford to splash out on a brand new car or a car of your dreams, right? So having that home-based business income, whether it's a couple of £100 a month, maybe it's 300, 400, 500 a month, maybe that can take care of a brand new car, that you've been dreaming about all of your life, etc. So makes you feel better, every time you're driving, you feel great, etc. And again, a lot of home-based businesses have an inbuilt incentive program for a car. So if you work hard, if you produce well, if you get results, you can even get the payment for the car courtesy of the company. So the company can't pay for your car. That's what happened to me and Rita. We've qualified for a car payment. We bought a brand new car and the company was paying for that car, instead of us having to pay for it, which is, again, quite awesome, having a brand new car free of charge, which is quite cool, right? Number 9 is to pay less tax. A lot of you who all of your life you've been employed, you worked for somebody else, you don't even know that you are the highest tax paying people. A lot of people think that, the big businesses, they must be paying a huge tax, etc. Actually, people who pay the biggest tax in the world and in this country are people who work in a job, who are employed, right? They pay the biggest percentage tax of all the people. I don't know what's the tax. I think it's around 20%, right? So when you are employed, let's say you work and let's say you get paid $3,000 a month. So at the end of the month, when it's time for you to get paid, you've earned the money that you've earned. So the queen takes her 20% first, and then you get paid what's left. But when you're in a home-based business, when you're self-employed, when you're a sole trader, the whole thing changes. Because now you get paid the money, right, before anybody touches it. Then you have your expenses. So let's say you have to drive, that's your expense. Let's say you have to buy some clothes, that's an expense. Let's say you have to go, to a conference in some nice location worldwide, that's an expense. So all the expenses are taken off your earnings, and then you pay the tax on the money that's remaining after you spent the money. It's much better, right? For some of you, you don't even realize that if you started a home-based business, you could get back the tax that you pay in your job. Can you imagine that? Like if you're full-time employed, if you started a home-based business and you, for example, invested in some products, and you use those products, etc., those products that you use for yourself can be counted as a business expense, and you would get that money back from the tax you pay in your job. I'm not an accountant, etc., but trust me, there's a lot of tax benefits for being in a business, right? For being in a home-based business, So just the fact that you get registered as self-employed, you can get a lot of leeways and a lot of tax benefits just being, in a home-based business. And a lot of you don't even realize. So the money that you're paying in your full-time job, you could, as a tax, you could get some of that money back if only you were in a home-based business, right? And a lot of you know using it, right? So that's reason number 9. Reason number 10 why a lot of people get into home-based business is to help others. Simple as that. If you're an accountant, if you're a lawyer, if you're a driver, if you're a, landscape, person, etc., you can't really help a lot of people. No, not with your service. Yeah, your service helps people, whether you're an accountant or you're a nurse or whatever. But if I'm an accountant and I have a friend who's struggling financially, I can't go to that friend and go, hey, I can teach you how to be an accountant and you can make some money, right? And that can help you to have a breakthrough in your life, to support your family better, etc. I can't do that if I'm an accountant, or if I'm a driver, or if I'm a whatever. But in a home-based business, you have a unique opportunity to help other people too, right? I saw this post the other day which said, if you're lucky enough to succeed in life, you need to send the elevator back down for other people, right? To help out other people. And in a home-based business, that's exactly what you can do. Actually, in a lot of home-based businesses, the only way for you to make more money is by helping other people, is by showing other people how to do the same. How cool is that? You help other people to earn more money, you help other people to have better life, and for that, the company rewards you. And for that, the company pays you even more money. Unbelievable, right? One of the best, and most ethical ways of earning income, I believe, right? So that's number 10. Number 11 is spending time with nicer people. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people go to work, and how to put it nicely, they don't work with the nicest people. They don't have the nicest person as their boss, and they don't have the nicest people as their work colleagues. But unfortunately, they don't get to choose the people they work with. Right? They get to work with who they get to work with. And sometimes we have bosses and other work colleagues who are mean to us. Hey, Rita. Hey, darling. Thanks for joining in. We get people who are mean to us. We get people who are not very nice to us, but we have to endure that every single day because there's no other way around it. We have to go to work to earn our money, right? In a home-based business, I get to choose people that I work with. How amazing is that? Right? If I speak to somebody and that person is obnoxious, that person is rude to me, that person feels like they have a right to put me down or insult me, I can go, hey, I'm not going to work with you. I'm not going to give you this opportunity to work with me. I'm not going to give you this opportunity to join my home-based business. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to become part of my team. I don't need people like that in my team. I get to choose the positive people, the motivated people, the enthusiastic people to join my team. I get to surround myself with amazing people who I like. It's sweet in my mouth to spend time with these people. Like the other day I went to see one of my team members, Louise, and we spent like a couple of hours together, etc. I haven't seen her in ages. And it was like, oh my gosh, like I met a family member that I haven't seen for ages. It's like, I just love being in that person's presence. She radiates good energy, positivity, happiness, etc. And imagine surrounding yourself with people like that every single day and spending time with people like that. It's insane. It's living a dream, right? So that's reason number 11. Reason number 12 why a lot of people get into home-based business is personal development. Unfortunately, in traditional jobs, companies don't look at personal development as an important criteria for their employees' well-being, mental health, etc. They look more at productivity, how we can get you to do more in the amount of time you spend, working for us, etc. They look how to squeeze more juice out of you instead, right? But in home-based business, it's like I've heard somebody say that home-based business is a personal development course cleverly disguised as a job, as a business, right? So actually there's no way of progressing in home-based business and earning more money without growing yourself as a person, without becoming more confident, without becoming more friendly, without becoming more better communicator, better dad, better mum, better friend, etc. It's just incredible how much personal development you get to experience and you get as part of being in a home-based business. And the best part is most of it, if not all of it, is free. Like people, I remember going to one of the Tony Robbins events, and I don't remember, I think it cost like £400 for a ticket to be at that event. And there were people, from traditional jobs. And that was the only way for them to get personal development, right? Because like in a job, they don't get any personal, so they had to pay £400, £500 for the ticket to go to an event like that. And I was thinking like, I only chose to come here because like I had already an income for that. But actually as part of being in a home-based business, I get a load of personal development free of charge on a daily basis. So again, being in the home-based business, it helps you to grow yourself. It encourages you to read books, attend seminars, listen to audios, etc. So you become, it's not about the money. I remember Jim Rohn saying, he used to say, make a goal to become a millionaire, not for the money, but for what it makes of you to become one. Right? He goes like, you can give the money away. The money is not important. But what you become on your journey to become a millionaire, that's more important. That's so much more important. And that's really, again, it's a huge part of being part of a home-based business, right? Reason number 13 to become part of home-based business is being your own boss. Is being able to set your own time schedule. Is being able to set your own holidays without asking for permission. Is being able to do what you want. Like I remember working in security where literally we used to be told when you can go to toilet, when you can have some food, when whatever, right? And if you want to go to toilet not in the right time, your problem. It's just tough. It's like some of that stuff I thought that's against human rights, right? But there's so many people who are in jobs where like they want to go on holiday or, a family member is sick and they want to be with that family member and their job is saying, hey, if you don't come, you fired. We're going to sack you if you don't come, and you go like, hey, my kids are ill. We don't care. If you don't come to work, you get a penalty. You get a third strike and you're out. It's insane, right? But that's what a lot of people are dealing with all the time, right? Because they're not their own boss, because they have a boss, whether a physical person or a company that literally dictates their life. They're being a slave, to these jobs, to these companies, etc. Right? So again, blows my mind, but that's what happens, And then last reason to get into home-based business is legacy, is leaving something behind you, and that's material, but also not material. So I don't want to get morbid here, but God forbid something happened to you and you died today, and you work in a normal job. How much would your job pay your family and for how long? Right? Now, I know it might sound crazy and you're not planning to die today, right? But what if it happened? How much would your family get and how long would your job keep paying your family your full-time salary, just because you work for that company? Hey, Elsie, thanks for joining in. Now, I know in most people's jobs, their family would get nothing. As soon as you stop working, there's no money coming to your family. In a home-based business, whatever you've built up, whatever you've created, once you passed away, that income carries on coming to your family members. In our company, we actually have a real story of a woman who unfortunately passed away, and she was at a very high level. She achieved a lot within our company. She passed away, and her position, her business was taken over by her children, by her son and her daughter. And now we already few years after that, and her son and her daughter are still receiving full of her monthly income every single month. What she's built didn't disappear. It was passed on to her children, and her children will receive that income for the rest of their lives, provided they look after the business and look after the team, etc. How powerful is that? Knowing that you've got some security, you've got something living, materially, financially, but also, not materially, leaving a legacy of impact, leaving a legacy of influencing other people's lives and touching other people's lives, where, even after you go and people go, that person helped me, that person supported me, that person, showed me the way, etc. And I mean, you don't have to die for that to happen. It's like, I remember one of the first trainings I listened by Jim Rohn. He said, one of the first lessons he gave, he said, get your name in someone's testimonial. Get your name in someone's testimonial, where somebody says, because of that person, my life has changed. And that happens a lot in our industry and in our company, where people would go on stage and go, I have to thank this person because they invited me into home-based business. They supported me, they showed me the way, and this is what happened to me, right? So that's legacy. That's impacting other people's lives, not just going, oh, how much money I can make, how much, I can get for me, but also what can I do for other people? What can I do for my community? What can I do for my family? What can I do, for other people who are not as privileged as me, right? It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible to have that feeling where, wow, I've impacted that people. Wow, I've influenced that people, and I've helped them to get to a better life, etc. So these are the 14 reasons why I'd recommend and why a lot of people get into home-based business. Now, if you're considering home-based business, I'd like to offer you a free report, right? All you need to do is message me and I will send you a free report. Now, this free report is 40 pages long, right? It's called How to Build a Part-Time Business While Keeping Your Full-Time Job, right? And in this report, you'll learn a lot about financial freedom, about active and passive income, about leverage, about having an ethical business where it's a win-win situation for you and other people, right? About earning without even having to sell anything, right? About duplication and what does it mean, how you can earn not just on your own hours like you do in a job, just if you work 10 hours, you get paid for 10 hours, but how you can earn on other people's efforts as well, how you can earn on 10 people's efforts, on 100 people's efforts, where you can clone yourself, where instead of just getting paid for your 12 hours a day, you can get paid on multiple people's hours every single day, right? How does that work, and how you could build a part-time business with using as little as 10 hours a week, right? So if you'd like to get a free copy of that report, all you need to do is just drop me a private message here on Facebook, and I'll be more than happy to send you this report so you can have a read and learn more about how you can start your own home-based business and start getting those 14 benefits that I've just mentioned. Hope you got value from this training, guys. If you did, feel free to share this as a private message or tag somebody in the comments or share it on a group or on your timeline. Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for being here. I can see all the hearts. I can see all the thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys for that. I really love you for that. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. And as always, I'll see you at the top. Bye for now.